Under the Tories government, they were screwing landlords. Under the Labour government, they're still screwing landlords. So they brought in this rent reform, which has been a very long-winded process. It's all to protect the tenants. My view is the government's always attacked landlords knowing they would pass the pain points on the tenants. So they can't be seen attacking the general public. So the public see the government's, they're going for the rich people, the landlords. But indirectly, government, they know landlords will just pass the gap onto tenants. That's what's happening. So we're very strict with how we reference tenants anyway, aren't we? So I don't see that it's going to impact rent to rent too much.
No.
But let's just run through exactly what changes they're bringing in place. So people are educated and not kind of put off the strategy. If they're thinking about becoming a landlord, how do they reference their tenants going forward? What's the risk? What's the pitfalls?
So I think like one of the main sort of points are obviously getting rid of the Section 21, right? That's going to reduce flexibility of landlords to be able to get tenants out for, they say no reason, but typically there's always a bit of a reason.
100%.
I think a pain in the ass.
I think the reason is look at the court time. So I think they've scrapped Section 21 to free up the court time.
Exactly. And we'll still have ways of getting tenants out if they're misbehaving, they're not paying rent. But again, even on the rents now, they've extended the period of time that they can do like a repayment plan, right? They've extended that out by a couple of months, I think. So it's like 4 months before you can apply to the court for rent arrears, essentially.
And
4 months of a landlord not being able to pay their mortgage, essentially.
It's mad. If you've got a tenant and they're not paying rent, you issue a Section 21, and then it's 2 months before you can take them to court. But then you've got the councils coaching tenants to stay for free, which is mad.
It is. It's crazy.
Because the councils can't cope. They're like, okay, if we can keep them in that house and that room for free for a bit longer, then tell them what they need to say and do.
Exactly that.
Mental. Landlords are being screwed left, right and centre.
And then it's also taken away stability for the landlord in regards to how long these people are going to be in their property. A lot of landlords want a long-term agreement. It obviously costs them money to market to find a new tenant in the first place, whether they're paying a letting agent, whether they're marketing themselves. It's effort and time and money to find a new tenant. And now tenants there's no fixed period for them. They can effectively just
2 months notice, up and leave.
They could move in and on day one decide, I don't like it here, I'll give my 2 months notice and then move on. Which nobody wants to do, obviously, and in theory, in practice, that probably won't happen because you've got to move all your things over. Like, moving's a very stressful thing, but it still doesn't give that period of time of certainty for a landlord that, right, I know I've got these people in here for the next 12 months because they're into a fixed agreement.
It's ruined the student market.
Student market as well. So students now can give notice, which is a lot of the reason why landlords go for students is because
they're locked in for 12 months.
They've got a full house that's locked in for that term. Exactly.
And I'm seeing a lot of the
how are they going to replace those students? Let's say if 2 students drop out and they're allowed to leave, well, good luck trying to find a student that needs accommodation halfway through the year.
Exactly that. And this is why estate agents are even more now on board with company lets, because what estate agents do for landlords is they promise they're going to fill their room with students before the next academic year. So all of the HMOs are advertised actually in November. For the next academic year, and traditionally they fill them easily. And company lets is a bit of a battle and a waiting game until the landlords start to panic towards July, and then we get the company let properties, right? But now they can't guarantee. Because they can't say, we're a group of 5 students, we'll take the property. Okay, you're going to take it for 12 months. But they can't even lock them in on a contract. Because if they introduce this law, which they are, and it's coming in May, then that screwed it already for next academic year. So landlords are going to be like, okay, if you say you're going to get a property, my property, and you're going to fill them with 5 students, what if they move in and 3 months later, at Christmas time, move out? What guarantee, unless estate agents have come up with like a guarantee insurance that if they move out will cover the void, but estate agents won't cover that. That's a heavy no chance. So what we're seeing on the mentorship and the students is there's a lot more viewings going on for HMOs.
100%. And I think it will be across the board. It won't just be student HMOs, it'll be all properties,
social housing.
Exactly. Especially if they've got a handful, like they're a portfolio landlord, they'll be starting to think, right, okay, well, what other options are open to me? And a company let will be right up there.
I think landlords are pissed off. Look what they've done with Section 24.
Yeah.
They're taxing them on the income, not the profit, which is mad. So, for example, if your mortgage is £900, but your rental income is £1,100, you're taxed on £1,100, not on £200, the true profit. So landlords are pissed off. And if we come along and be like, yeah, I'm going to guarantee it. It is actual guaranteed rent, no voids whatsoever, a free light refurb if needed, for 3 years. Landlords are now literally grabbing it like, yes, please, because they own all of the risk now. No risk at all is put on tenants. It's great for tenants.
Yeah, it's great for tenants.
But also not great for tenants.
Well, there's the fact that landlords are going to be, we're always very stringent when we're doing like Rent HMO, for example, referencing people for rooms and stuff like that. We're always very strict anyway. You have to be, because you have to protect your business. But that's going to become even more so in the new market now, that landlords are going to be where they may have thought, oh, I'll take a chance. This guy seems all right. Like, I've got a good feeling about him. Yeah, a bit of a blip there, maybe on the credit, not the highest credit score.
Just 5 CCJs.
Yeah. But we'll let him go. We'll let him go in and give him a chance. That's fine. That's all going to stop, because you put somebody in now and you don't get it right, it's going to be such a pain to get them out.
Yeah, it's hard. I see it especially with new mentees. They feel like they're being pulled at the heartstrings, and I'm like, you're a business. You're actually a new business. You can't afford any risk.
No.
So even though this person may seem an extremely nice guy, there's a red flag there. So no.
Yeah, you got to trust your gut and do the referencing. Yeah, and then the other thing is like no rental payments up front, right? Like no more than 1 month up front.
Which is annoying.
So it's so annoying, and that's going to affect a lot of tenants as well, because oftentimes if they have maybe they got a CCJ for a parking ticket a while back, but it's still on their file or something like that, they'll be like, oh, it sucks, but I can show financial commitment. I'll pay 6 months up front. This is what a lot of tenants would do. I experienced this at their letting agency, but now they're not going to be able to do that. So then the landlord's not going to want to take the chance on them. They're going to go with somebody, and then it's just going to reduce. I mean, I don't know what it's going to do to the market ultimately.
It's kind of made it's better for tenants, but not, because the cost of rooms and rent has gone up because of the government have squeezed landlords. The rights for tenants have got better and more relaxed, because they can just up and leave with 2 months notice. But actually they're paying for that luxury now. They're paying for that luxury. The government have done it to free up the court time, but they've screwed landlords, and in turn of doing that, they've screwed tenants with the amount of rent they have to pay. Like £750 for a room.
I know.
Is the average. That's crazy.
It's big money, isn't it? I mean, you have got your bills included and stuff like that in there, but
they pay for the convenience.
Exactly.
But still, 750 quid just for a double room. It's mental. It's just going up and going up and going up. And they're just squeezing landlords, not increasing thresholds of minimum wage. So landlords can't even pay themselves more. They're being taxed on the income, not the profit. And they're not just going to sit back and be like, okay, I'll just pay more tax. They're going to be like, no, I've got to increase the rents. I've got a mortgage to pay. I'm making no money. Way too high risk. Can't sell it because of capital gains tax.
And that's the other thing as well, that obviously most rental increases are only meant to be like once a year anyway, but then they're also going to have further rights to be able to push back on that. So say like old school landlords, right, are notorious for this. They've got a load of properties and they've got people that are on way below market value rent. Now there's going to be a kick up the arse to them when this is more closely monitored, to think, right, okay, well, I need to at least get my properties up to market value, otherwise I'm going to have somebody living in my property for the foreseeable that I can't just kick out whenever I want.
If they don't breach contract, you can't evict them.
Exactly. So I need to at least be getting what my money's worth out of this property. So then they go to do the rent increase, but it's going to get challenged, or it's going to go to tribunal or something like that, get pushed back on, and where does that leave them?
I feel landlords paying because they it's like the ultimate goal, isn't it? Like a buy-to-let portfolio, or get on the buy-to-let ladder. You save for a very long time. You might inherit a good amount of money, and you're like, okay, this is my chance now. You're going to put 40, 50, 60 grand into a property on a buy-to-let, and then realise, actually, holy crap, I'm making no money. You've tied up all that money into one property.
I think like buy-to-let for like cash flow, if that's what you're looking for, is to like replace your income, it's probably a terrible strategy. If it's a store of wealth, then that's different, because you're in it for the long term. You can park some money in something that you know is probably going to go over time,
and you've got a good income from multiple avenues. Buy-to-let is a great strategy for long-term wealth, passing on your legacy. perfect.
Yeah,
Properties always go up in value over decades.
Yeah.
But if your main goal is to become financially free and exit the job, buy-to-let's a terrible starting
idea.
position.
100%.
Everyone thinks that's rung 1 on the ladder. I'd say it's like rung 3. But it's not even a great rung. I'd actually try and reach for the next one. Like developments.
Exactly. Like
BRRs.
Like commercial
buy-to-let
or something. Pretty much. I think so. Like buying land, building yourself, or converting to flats, that sort of thing. That's where it makes sense.
It's mad though. When I started way before all of this rent-to-rent stuff. I was looking at buy-to-let. Thinking that is the next natural step. And that's what everybody still thinks.
Because you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you think, I need some buy-to-let.
I need some assets. Everything's a liability.
Exactly.
And it couldn't be further from the truth. It's just kind of what we're told to believe. And like what information is passed down, but it's changed. The future is 100% in controlling assets, other people's controlling their assets.
Until you've got the cash flow and abundance of money to be able to
do
buy
what you want.
then you can get your own assets. But appreciate what it is, what actual strategy you're trying to do. Is it a cash flow, or is it like a long-term generational sort of store of value for you?
So getting back on track with the rent reform bill, as long as you're doing sanction checks, which come in this year, use letting ref to reference your tenants. You don't even have to do it. Just use that website. It's free to use, but you pay to run a credit check, which is £10 per person. That's worth its weight in gold.
100%.
Never skip that.
No.
I skipped it once.
Did you?
And that turned out, massively. Literally a tenant from hell. So use letting ref. The tenant fills in all their details. You log back in and you go click here, and it sends a survey to their previous landlord, sends a survey to their employer. It gives you an affordability check, right, to their income and how much the room is, or the whatever you're renting. Can they afford it? Like a traffic light system. And it basically tells you, this is a good tenant, and then kind of go on your gut feel as well. Not
because they can look great on paper.
But be a nuisance.
Exactly.
So,
and you got to remember as well, everyone when they come to view a room, it's almost like they're turning up for a job interview. They're on their best behaviour the majority of the time.
Very true.
So you always got to factor that in as well.
It is hard to judge. It's hard to judge.
It's experience, isn't it?
It is experience. Taking a kind of, especially as a new business, you're like, I hope this tenant turns out.
It's that first rental payment that's due. You move them in, they pay what we used to do the first and last month's rent, and then it's like when that next lot of rent's due, it's like, is this going to be a good one? I woke up, they've obviously not set up their standing order. Text them a prompt, hi, rent's due, just a rent reminder, it's due by midday, and then see how they respond.
A good tip for you guys, if you are running your own HMO portfolio and you get tenants that haven't set up a standing order, go on ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT the situation, and then say, create me an automated looking text which says no reply. So as soon as I use this all the time, it's amazing. You send it to your tenants, and then within 5-10 minutes you get the rent payment. They don't WhatsApp you or anything because they think you don't even know. And it's hilarious because you send the text from a separate phone which says asterisk, asterisk, no reply. It's an automated looking text like, hi tenant, rent due this amount, hasn't been paid. You have 5 days to make the payment, otherwise it'll take legal proceedings, and then 10 minutes later rent's paid. So you can no longer take, well, as of May, when this new legislation comes in, you can't take rent in advance. Traditionally, we take first and last month's rent. So a tenant would pay for the first month and their last month. So upon them moving out, they don't need to pay rent for the last month, which is great for them because they can use that savings to take on their next room or rent an apartment, right? So they haven't got the expense of their last month because it's paid for, and the expense of moving into somewhere else. So it's a win situation for them. But now going into next year, we can't do that, which sucks for rent-to-rent HMO because you can't pull your initial investment out as fast, which you used to be able to do in about the moment it was tenanted. I pulled out, I collected the keys on 27th of August. I filled it on the 1st, 4 days to get my initial investment back out. And then I had a month rent free. But you can't do that anymore.
No.
And also, going forward, advertised properties is what the landlord has to rent it at. So estate agent can't bat you off with another company let.
Yes.
But how is that policed?
Yeah,
they can do that.
Yeah, it's the same with like all the discrimination things that they're bringing out about, like you can't say no to people with pets or with children or on benefits and stuff like that. Ultimately, the way it works is somebody will view the property, they'll put in an application to rent the property, and then where does that application go? It goes back to the landlord for approval, right?
Yeah.
So they're still going to choose who they want to choose.
Of course they can.
So
tenants think, you know, we see it all the time on spare room when they're refused a room for a certain reason, and they can read it a mile off.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the end of the day, if they have a pet, you're not going to move into a HMO because, let's say it's a 7-bed HMO and you have a rabbit. Someone might move in with allergies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I had this tenant on the spare room and she kicked right off. She's been looking for a room for months and it's just a cat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't understand. Yeah. That puts the landlord at risk. Yeah. Us at risk of can't move in anybody else if they have allergies. Yeah. Or what if your cat, you know, is messy or it stinks? It's just hassle. So here's a tip. The room's no longer available. You can't discriminate. Sorry, you've got a cat, you can't move in. Boom. Yeah. They can jump straight on that and report you. So just say the room's no longer available. Someone's just taken the room in the last 10 minutes. Really sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. It's gone. Yeah. They can't say you have to take on tenants in a certain order they've messaged you. No, so just respond. If you're unsure, use ChatGPT. Yeah. My conclusion of this rent reform bill is it doesn't affect rent to rent too much. Yeah. It affects rent to rent HMO. It would just take longer to pull out your initial investment, and you have to be stricter with tenants, as in the referencing. But we're very strict anyway. Yeah, so,
exactly that. And I think the only other issue, well, not necessarily an issue, but just the thing to consider is that when you are coming to the end of your lease, you won't be able to evict those people. So essentially the landlord will be inheriting your tenants. Yeah. So, which isn't an issue. I'm handing back a property and I got the landlord to sign an addendum to our contract that basically states that he will inherit my tenants should they be paying fair market value rent and paid their rent on time, essentially.
Well, they have to. If they're in breach of contract, you can get them out.
Exactly that.
So that's also a selling point. Yeah. But that's always been the issue with rent to rent HMO anyway, isn't it?
It's having to evict everyone at the end.
Yeah. What if? Okay. What's to say your tenants don't leave at the end? Yeah. Sorry. That's tenant right. Can you get around tenant rights? No, neither can we. Yeah. So do you want us to manage your property or do you want to manage the tenants yourself? Yeah, I don't want to manage tenants. Okay, go with the company let then.
Yeah. All the perks are still there.
All the perks are still there.
It's just that little bit of detail at the end, or having a clause in there that states, you know, essentially that you'll be getting the property back with tenants in situ, potentially. You know, may not, like vacant return of the property may not be feasible. The other thing with that is you can think of it from the landlord side, and this is the way I would like approach it with the landlord, is that Mr. Landlord, currently you are getting X amount because I am making my margin on top of it. Yes, you're getting guaranteed rent and everything like that, but when you do get their property handed back to you, if you're taking a property full of tenants that have been paying their rent on time every time, they're paying market value, all of a sudden you're going to get a huge increase in your income because you're taking a property back and getting way more rent than what I'm paying for you because my margin's factored into that. So, you know, there's perks to it as well. And I've took the risk of vetting those tenants, having to cover the voids if they stopped paying rent and stuff like that. So he's getting pre-vetted tenants and a full property that's cash flowing. So, you know, there is a bit of a perk to it.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, guys, don't be afraid of the rent reform bill. No. We're not afraid of it. No. Just follow the same processes, the strict procedures of vetting tenants. Yeah. Because essentially these changes, tenants have to guarantee rent now. Because if they breach the contract, you can get them out faster than Section 21. There's pros and cons. There always will be. There always has been. So just run with the legislation changes. It hasn't touched rent to rent. Yeah. It's still very active. Yeah. If anything, it's got better because landlords are scared of the rent reform. Yeah. Agents can no longer do the student batch and guarantee the rent for 12 months. Landlords know that. In terms of rent to rent HMO, next year is going to be a very exciting year.
It is. I think 2026 is going to be a game changer for company lets. Yeah. I think
it already is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It already is. Exactly. Yeah. But I think you're going to have such better reception from agents that will consider it. Yeah. And landlords.
So if you're considering going down the buy to let route, that's great. Just go and watch this video first.